If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Welcome back, Padonia Station. We're live. It's all brought to you by Michelob Ultra, our pre-NFL draft show. Eric DeCosta and Brian Billick together again here on the stage in Padonia Station. Quick reminder, anybody looking for something to do on draft day, as you can see here at Padonia Station, pool tables, fun, and the Orioles in high-definition quality wearing Baltimore jerseys tonight and leading the Texas Rangers. So we'll be here next Saturday. Eric will be in the war room. Brian will be in New York. Brian, one of the topics that you're going to talk about, one of the topics you're going to tackle, and it gets tackled every year, and when you were a coach, it was the same thing, and I alluded to it about an hour ago, is the film really stops after the Senior Bowl, and really, it stops at the end of the regular season, not even so much for the bowl game. How is it that guys move up and down boards based on what they do in Indianapolis and based on sitting in front of you and giving a good interview, for lack of a better interpretation?
And that's the thing that interests me. I mean, I'd love for Eric to talk about it, because one of the things, going to the combine, what's everybody saying, don't fall in love with the guy in shorts, right?
It happens.
And it does. And so you're constantly cautioning
Mike
yourself.
Mamula is
Exactly right.
That's the greatest example, right?
The biggest concern the scouts have is the coaches tend to fall in love with guys, right? They look at the film, they get to see them one-on-one. Now, you guys have been doing this for a whole year. You get done with the film, yet the draft status, and we've seen it now. How many players are climbing up the charts and falling off the board post Senior Bowl? If the mentality is, let's not fall in love with the guy with shorts, talk about the evaluation process. How is it guys move up and down the boards February 1 until draft?
Well, that's a good question, and we spend a lot of time, thinking about that. And most of our work, if you look at our December meeting that we have, it's based on how the guy played during his senior season, and the information that we're able to generate from all the different people that we talk to, coaches and support staff at the schools. We put a draft board together. And what happens is these players go to all-star games, and some guys blow it up. Some guys will absolutely dominate.
Isn't that a tough environment, these Senior Bowls and stuff, where guys come in, they don't know their teammates, they don't know a system, they don't really have plays, do they? It's like a Pro Bowl, right? A little bit?
It's very generic, sort of vanilla type deal. They do a lot of different drills, a lot of one-on-one type stuff, offensive linemen versus defensive linemen, corners versus receivers, linebackers, tight ends, and things like that. But it really kind of becomes clear, I think, by Wednesday or so of the week, who the best athletes are. They're all out there on the same field, they're doing the same drills, they're competing against each other, but where you get into trouble is when one of the best athletes may not be one of the best players on tape during the fall. And so, a lot of times, guys will elevate, you have all these people, Mike Mayock is a great friend of mine in the world, and the McShays and all these guys, they write about the players that are having great weeks. And it kind of catches like wildfire. And guys start to gain some momentum. I don't really know how they can gain momentum, but they gain momentum and start moving up, and they go to the combine. And some guys will run really fast and interview really well. I can think of one guy this year, Connor Barwin from Cincinnati, who was a tight end as a junior, moved to defensive end as a senior, went to the combine on a 4.5, interviewed extremely well, and now he's a first-round type guy. And so you have to be careful, because a lot of those guys get overdrafted in comparison to their peers. And for us in Baltimore, I can't speak for the other teams how they do it, but for us in Baltimore, the tape as a senior really carries the most weight. We really try to do that. We didn't draft a lot of risers up the board. Quite honestly, the guys that we looked at played well on tape. But it happens I can think of one guy, Kevin Williams, was a defensive tackle at Oklahoma State a few years ago, and he went to the Senior Bowl, and he whooped ass. And Rex came back and said, "Ooh, boy, I like that defensive tackle from Oklahoma State. He played terrible as a senior. And he just played bad. But he had an unbelievable Senior Bowl. He had an unbelievable combine. He was drafted before Terrell Suggs that year."
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.